welcome to Genesis Models. My name is Bobby Waldron. In this video we're going to have a nice inbox review of Great Wall Hobbies F-15B/D 1/48 scale, and it's supposed to be an Israeli Air Force / US Air Force 2-in-1. This is a nice new tool by Great Wall Hobbies. So let's have a quick look how this is all packaged and what we get in here. Now it's quite you know, a big box, you know, so we get in a lot of plastic for our money, and as you can see, the weapons are really nicely packaged. One weapon per sprue, really nice packaging going on there, and we've got like 12 weapons all together. Moving along, we've got this nice, very nice quality, very tough packaging going on here, so it's really going to limit any kind of scratches to this. As you can see, we've got a nice singless sprue in here with the nice big piece here for the top of the F-15. Just put that out of the way. Moving along again, you know, we've got a lot of kind of sprues singular in one package, and as you can see, you know, we've got our front nose section here, you know, a nice nose section as well, looking very nice, separately bagged. There's a lot in here, so I'm just going to kind of speed things up, but we've got about 3 little sprues in here. Again, another nose section as well, so it looks like we're going to have a lot of options. We have here a lot of little sprues tightly packed in this singular package. We've got the underside of the fuselage section, but if you I can just see inside here that we've got a lot of other sprues that are also packaged within a package. So although you might think it's quite tightly packed and you're going to get a bit of scratching, it is a package within a package, which is rather good. With, again, you know, packaging very nice. We've got air intakes here. We've got I think this is the air few bits that are going to go around the air intake as well. 2 identical sprues, the same, nicely packaged. We've got our what looks like our exhaust here, which is we can have that in the aircraft or on display, which is rather nice packaging. Again, 2 identical pieces for 2 exhausts. In here we've got 3 sprues in here, nicely packaged, and this is like wheels and pylons and stuff, so you know, rather nice there. And then our final sprue here, again, single sprue, nicely packaged, all on its own. And you know, we've got our underside of the wings as well, looking rather nice. Moving along, we have this nice little box, which is really nice. I mean, the packaging in this is top notch, because in here we have another nose section, okay, and then we've also got our canopy section, and what is really nice is it's nicely put in a separate box. Then you've got this top quality packaging going on, and you might be able to just see we've got what looks like to be a big piece of sellotape within the package covering the canopy as well, so it really does, you know, eliminate any problems with the canopy getting scratched. That is top-notch packaging going on there, so great job there by Great Wall Hobbies. Moving along, we then have a few bits and bobs here. We have something about replacement parts, no big deal there. We've then got a correction sheet, right, so any amendments that need to be made, it tells you where they've gone wrong in the instructions. It looks like the decals are maybe numbered up wrong or something, because we've got a correction bit there, and a bit to do with the actual colour scheme as well. So you know, it's nice that they've corrected their mistakes. We've also got a nicely packaged well, a load of Decals sheets. I mean, it is, I've got to open it up and show it you, but you know, there's about 3 or 4 sets of Decals sheets in there, plus a little bit of photo etch as well, so we'll have a good look at them later. And then we have a nice instruction sheet, which is rather thick. It's sort of like a matte but good quality paper. It is in colour, although you might see at first it doesn't look like it's in colour, but there are bits and bobs in here that are nicely in colour. So there we go. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to unbox all this, have a good look at it, do some research and everything, and hopefully you're going to like this. Let's start off with the instructions. Now remember, this is a nice brand new tool by Great Wall Hobbies. Now in the instructions, you know, we get that usual bit of description at the start. As I say, it is in colour, but there's not much colour as we go through the instructions. We do have nice colour call outs here for the Mr. Colour range, for Leisure, which is rather interesting. And moving through, it is very, it does explain everything nicely, and we've got a few written instructions here and everything, so you know, it does look like your nice typical sort of instructions going on here. But as I say, you know, it does go into colour a bit here and there, i.e. our instrument display panels, where we need to put decals, it puts it in colour for us a little bit there, which is a nice added touch. And you just got to remember, you know, to pick the right version, Israeli or the US. Okay, then we have also our bits of photo etch are nicely colour coded as well, which is also rather nice. It's a bit of a sort of an F-14 kind of fit and a typical F-15 kind of fit, where you've got that front nose section, two halves coming together with the cockpit in there, and then the rest of the model sort of built like that. You've got the nice option of having your radar open or closed, which is nice. Just moving through, you know, we have our air intakes looking rather nice, bit more photo etch, it's got a bit of colour going on there as well. Moving along, remember there is a correction sheet for this bit. Right, just here, as you can see, a bit of a correction just there, so you know, remember that and make sure you look at that. Here we go again, we've got a bit of photo etch going in there, and it nicely tells you how to put this really nice option to have your actual exhaust in or out, which is really nice. Moving along, I mean, we do have this sort of like two halves of the top and the bottom, both fuselage and wing sections coming together. Apparently it does fit rather nice as well, so hopefully I'm going to worry too much about the fit going on there. And just moving along, yes, we can have our air brakes up or down, we can have the cockpit obviously up or down. And then we've got all our vertical and horizontal stabilizers. You know, you've got to make sure you you know, get the right Israeli or the US Air Force in there. Landing gear up and down, nice decals to go on the landing gear as well. I do like it when they put that in there, it makes it look rather nice. And it does show you how to have some panels open or close as you wish, so you know, rather nice there. Then it just goes through the whole bunch of weapons that we get through this. The US Air Force, you know, nice bunch of stencils going on there, but if you want to do the Israeli, you know, we are in stencil nightmare going on there, top and bottom, so good luck if you do the Israeli. Oh, and the sides as well of the Israeli, rather a lot of decals going on there. And then you've got the main colour scheme going on here for two different Israeli Air Force and two different US Air Force as well. So you know, just remember as well, you know, we've also got a colour scheme here for upside down. I do believe there's a correction for the two US Air Force ones going on there. Moving along, we do now, I did kind of throw this out and didn't say much about this replacement part sheet, but what this actually is to show how good the quality and the customer service of Great Wall Hobbies is. And what this is when they first released this kit, they found a mistake. So what they've gone off and done is they've actually remolded certain parts of the sprues to actually correct shape issues, which when do you ever hardly see or, you know, hear about that. You know, absolutely fantastic. Now if you brought this kit when it first came out, you might not have these replacement parts. Apparently, you know, go off and speak to whoever it is you brought it off, and they should have been sent the replacement parts. And if you brought it a bit afterwards, like I have after the release, those new parts are already in there, which I'll show you as we go through. So damn good customer service there. Moving along with our decals now, we have this decal sheet here. I haven't really looked at it, but there's lots and lots of tiny little numbers going on there and letters and stuff. It is, get it the right way around, they are made by Great Wall Hobbies. Never used their decals before, so I'm not sure how good they're going to be. But going through, we have the US markings here. As you can see, it is nicely in matte. It does feel like they're rather thin as well, but they're nicely in registry as well, so you know they seem to be on a good quality going on there. I do believe these are like the Israelis decals going on there. We've got our instrument display panel sort of instruments and all that kind of stuff for the cockpit, looking rather nicely detailed. We'll try and get you maybe a little bit closer, maybe not too close. And then we've also got bits of landing gear detail and a bit of seatbelt decals going on there, which are all going to look rather nice. Moving along, I do believe we've got all sorts of stencils going on here, which is rather good. Now with the really small writing, it does get a bit blurry, but what you can actually read with the naked eye, you know, you can read. It's just the really small stuff. If you get a magnifying glass on there, it's going to look a bit blurry, but apart from that, they do look good. But as I say, when it comes to decals, until you've actually put them on and used them, you don't know how good they're going to be. We've then also got, just here, we've got a bit of photo etch. I won't get it out of the bag, but I mean, it's maybe a little bit of a gimmick. I mean, we're not talking a load of photo etch there, but it does feel rather thin, so you know that is a good thing. Moving straight onto the Canopy, you know, with its kind of double bagging going on here and being in a box. Hopefully, as you can see, looking very nice and clear, shiny, got nice rivet details on there. We do have a seam line running down there. You need to sort that out, but there is a tutorial on that on the Genesis Models website. Moving along with the big main canopy, which has got this nice protective cover on it, which is, you know, fantastic. I think all manufacturers should do that. As you can see, that is looking rather nice and shiny. We do have the seam line running down the middle, but to be honest with you, to have a really nice shiny good canopy, really, you know, I do find that the ones with the seam lines going down the middle are normally the best ones. So you know, it is a bit of a hassle, but you normally get a good canopy when it's got that. Moving along now, I did get our, you know, our big bag. I don't know if you remember, we had this big bag and there was loads of little bits sort of compressed in there, and we'll just show you the underside of the fuselage so you can really sort of, you know, let's jump in there and find out, you know, how good all this surface detail is. And hopefully, as you can see, it's looking rather nice and crisp. We've got rivet detail going on along there, nice recessed panel lines, looking really good. Our wheel wells there, you know, we've got a nice bit of detail in there. You know, we could jazz that up a bit more, but still. And I do like how, you know, where it's due, we've got kind of thicker recessed panel lines, and where it's not, we've got sort of fainter recessed panel lines. You know, it's a good example there. And as it folds over to the side, you know, it doesn't lose any detail, which you can do with some moulding. So, you know, hopefully you like that. And any ejector pin marks on the inside of here doesn't matter. There are a bunch of bags that were kind of compressed inside here, and they are all separately bagged, which, you know, is rather good, even though they were all compressed, so, you know, no worries there. We do have ejector seats here. I'm going to try and speed things up by not getting absolutely everything out of the bag, but hopefully, as you can see, you know, they are looking, you know, pretty nicely detailed. You know, you've got 2 ejector seats there. We've got like 3 fuel tanks just here, nice raised panel lines going on, a few little bits and bobs in there, nothing to write home about. A bit more to our ejector seat. Hopefully, as you can just see in there, yes, the seat belts are moulded in there, which isn't, you know, that brilliant. You know, if you want to get photo etch, it does mean you've got to sand that bit back. And then what sprue we got coming up next? The next one we have here, I wanted to get this one out as well because I want to show you a bit of the correction. I'll show you the correction first. You know, this is what also came in the sprue, is just here. This is sort of like the biggest main mistake that happened, and that is, if we look, you can just see that our replacement here has a more of a sharper upwards sort of angle going on there compared to our, you know, mistake here, which is more of a gradual kind of rise compared to a more sort of, you know, sharper upwards angle. So they've created that, so they've corrected that nice shape problem there, which is rather nice. And then they've also gone off with the air brakes, and there's a little bit of a nice correction just here. Let's bring you in. Hopefully, as you can see, our little notches here are just thinner than the ones that had the mistake. And if you also turn it over, we've got a little bit of detail there that's a little bit different, and 2 ejector pin marks have been removed. This one's the old one, this is the new one. 2 ejector pin marks, they're gone. So, you know, very nice there for the correction. So just moving along while we've got this one out, here's a bit more surface detail of our surface, and hopefully, as you can see, you know, again, lovely surface detail going on there. And again, I've not seen any flash on this kit, which there shouldn't be really, because it is a rather new kit. We've got our wheel well doors going on here. Looking on the inside, you know, we've got some nice bits of detail going on, and I'm not seeing any ejector pin marks inside there, which is rather nice. Moving along now with this sprue, and this sprue's got our front nose section here, our 2 halves. We also get, remember, we got these replacement parts now. I can't really tell much of a difference at all with the actual nose section 2 halves, or with any of the pieces that come on here, but you can definitely notice our kind of framework to our canopy. You can actually see that you've got that with the new parts. It's got more of a slope, sharper slope upwards compared to what's the original, the mistake, which is more flat, as you can see there. You know, so nice touch there to replace that. Now for the rest of this sprue, we do have, hopefully as you can see, some really nice instrument display panels. They're looking rather nicely detailed, you know, above average for out of the box. We've got some cockpit wall detail here as well, you know, that is looking rather nice. You know, we've got wheel well detail, you know, we've got some pipes showing off there. No ejector pin marks really. The actual cockpit tub, hopefully you can see very nice crisp detail going in there, even on the floor and the sides of the walls. Oh, sorry, a bit off camera. Even on the sides of the walls there's a nice bit of sort of detail going on just in there. So, you know, a lot of nice detail going on there. If we turn it over, I did notice a couple of ejector pin marks just in there, 2 of them, which is some sort of wheel well door, and I think there was another bit. Yeah, if you decide to have these panels that are just here, have these open and show off all this detail, you know, you do have quite a few ejector pin marks inside there to deal with if you're wanting to open that up. We then also have our nose section here. Now in the box with the canopy, the canopy, you do get a replacement nose because they've corrected the nose section. Hopefully you can just see there, this new one, which is the replacement, is more pointier compared to the old one, which is more sort of a rounded nose. So nice of them to get that changed and replaced. Just put that to one side. Then we come to our big piece here. Now what we have here is our top wing and fuselage section, you know, looking very nice and impressive. And if we bring you right in, you know, we can see that we've almost got a next generation type surface detail going on here. And what I mean by this is we've got lots of rivet work, but the rivet work isn't just, you know, big rivets. You know, it's also, you know, these nicer, lighter rivets where it's due. The recessed panel lines are you know, nice and light where it's due, but then it's a little bit more thicker in certain areas. You know, so it gives it more variety and more, you know, realism to the whole thing. And hopefully you'll agree it is rather nice. Now it is, you know, I say I don't quite feel the whole next generation thing going on there, like Tamiya's, you know, 1/32 scale Spitfire or Eddard's Spitfires or MiG 29's 1/48 scale, you know, but it's looking rather good and getting, you know, getting there if you ask me. So that's rather nice. Moving along, we have our engine. Our exhaust. Now there's two sprues like this, right, and hopefully, as you can see, we've got this real nice idea of protecting the actual detail bits here with just nice bits of plastic sticking up, and that's protecting that, because those would have broken easily, and that is probably is going to look quite good. As you can see, nice detail with the exhaust moving along, you know, some nice fans going on here as well. There is a bit of photo etch to go in. The actual, we've got nice sort of wiring and all sorts of hoses and stuff, so we've got a lot of nice detail already there, which you can spruce up with more detail, but you've really got a lot of it already there for you. Turning it over, ejector pin marks are alright, apart from, strangely enough, we got, I don't see any ejector pin marks, you know, on these just here, not really seeing it, but then, you know, for this one we do have two little ejector pin marks just there, but they are small ones, so you might just about get away with that, or you could just nice and lightly sand them out, but there's two of them. And then just to quickly speed things up, we've just got some bags here where we've just got you know, little bits like wheels and okay, we've got a bit of landing gear going on there, but it does all look nice, same as the rest of the kit. Absolutely no flash going on here, you know, at all. The fronts of the air intakes, you know, these look rather nice, two sprues the same. We do have our air intakes, you know, they have done the mistake of having what you're not going to see, the tops of the air intakes all nice and smooth, no ejector pin marks, but here on the inside where you want it to be all nice and smooth and ejector pin mark free, there are about 6 ejector pin marks for each one of them, so you know, that's something you might want to sand out. Just to speed things up, we do have oh, I forgot what they were called now, I think that was it, there was Python 4s and Python 3s, I do believe, 4 of each, and then you've got the AIM 7s as well. Just have a look at one, just again speed things up, because this is quite a long inbox review so far. Looking at our Python 4, as you can see, its own sprue on its own, one of them, you know, there's no glue in, you know, it's just got a bit of a seam line just running down, as you'd probably normally get, you know, a little bit of sand to just get that out, but you know, we've got lots of nice detail, it's all there in one piece and looking rather nice, if I do say so myself. So that is basically all the kit, and what a kit it is. Now this kit, looking at Hanance right now, it costs about £59.99, which is not a bad price actually, for all the plastic you get and this cracking packaging and everything. You know, £60 is sort of like a decent price for a kit like this. So in the end, what I've scored this kit, I've scored this a 9, bang on 9, which here at Genesis Models, a 9 puts it in the excellence range. So between 9 and 10 is considered excellence, right? So you know, you're not going to have any problems with this. We've got a nice, well detailed kit, lots of good everything, and to be honest with you, I mean, every kind of category I've marked this in, none of it has been poor, you know, all of it has been, you know, into the above average or the excellence kind of scale there. So nothing about this kit seems to be bad whatsoever, which is rather nice. To finally conclude this, I mean, I must say, packaging, you know, is, you know, A1 with this. Surface detail is almost getting up there with the next generation, if you ask me. A lot of nice decals. The instructions are rather nice. No flash, no sink marks, one or two ejector pin marks in the odd place, but nothing, you know, it's not major. It's just one or two places, an ejector pin mark here and there. Customer services, I mean, they just must show how good they are to actually go off, remold and send out correction sprues is, you know, fantastic in my books. Because to be totally honest with you, I mean, the mistake that was on this was just that little kind of raise on the back of the canopy section. Most of us probably wouldn't have even noticed that, you know, and that seems to be the main correction. So, you know, for him to go off and do that little bit of a correction there, you know, it must have cost him how much, and half of us wouldn't have noticed. So, you know, thumbs up there. Really, one of the things that I don't kind of like about this kit, which isn't a big deal really, is, you know, you only get 12 weapons with this, and let's face it, you know, four of them are US weapons, and the other 8 are Israeli weapons, so we can't really fill up all our pylons. So you know, I would have liked to have some more weapons, but really, you know, it's not a big issue to complain about that. So all in all, absolute excellent kit, a nice score of a 9, a well recommended kit here at Genesis Models. I don't think you're going to be disappointed at all with a kit like this. Not only that, the aftermarket people are going to get on this, and I do believe sometime this year, 2014, they will be bringing out the C version as well, which is another kit I want to get my hands on, because I might actually build that C version after looking at this one. So until next time, my name's Bobby Waldron, this is Genesis Models, and I hope you've enjoyed.